Okay, guys, it is after 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I am Janyne Szklaruk from Nanton, Alberta. I am one of the, what am I, Platinum 1 Elite 2s in Canada. So I'm super excited to host the call tonight because Tracy Anderson is on the road home from being away for 7 weeks. So she should be arriving home within the next half an hour. So anyways, guys, she asked me to take control of the call tonight, and I was excited to do that because I have a presentation to do in Vancouver over the weekend, and I wanted to basically just kind of do a trial run, guys, with you. So it also fits into the training that Tracy did about 2 weeks ago on the call, I believe. So the company actually is rolling out a new training platform, and it's basically the analogy life. So life stands for list, invite, follow up, and enroll. So this is something that we want to train our team and our people to integrate into their daily activity. And it's very, very simple, right? This is what you guys should be doing: list, invite, follow up, and enroll. So my segment is on follow up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with my presentation, guys. I have some slides that I'm going to reference, so it might look kind of funny because I am going to be following those as I do my presentation, and I'm going to do it as if I was in Vancouver. So just if it seems a little bit wonky, that would be why. But I think it should flow okay for the call. So anyway, so yeah, basically 2 weeks ago you heard from Tracy on how to build your list, and you heard how to invite. All right, guys, so I get to get into the F in life for follow-up. So I hope you guys don't mind, because I'm going to get a little bit real and a little bit bold at times and share with you why follow-up is the most critical and vital step in this process. Okay, I promise you, you do not have to be good at follow-up, but you must do follow-up to succeed here. All right, so for those of you who I've not yet met, my name is Janyne Szklaruk. People often get my name confused by the spelling, and I get Jane a lot. And Szklaruk, on the other hand, guys, is a whole nother challenge. So don't even worry about mastering that anytime soon. So my husband, Chad, and I reside in Nanton, Alberta, which is a small town about an hour south of Calgary, and I am a mom of 3. So Quade is turning 19 on Friday, and he just finished his first year of university. And I have no idea how this is even possible, because I certainly don't feel old enough to have a son who's 19. Our daughter, Tori, is 17 and in grade 11. Sorry, guys, I just got to get my slides going. So she's 17 and in grade 11. And then our youngest daughter, Kemry, is 5 and just finishing up play school. So you can imagine the crazy dynamics in our house, guys. I got started in this industry back in 2014. It's actually been exactly 4 years this April. And I had no experience, no prior experience in network marketing. I was a traditional business owner most of my adult life. But in 2014, after selling my previous retail business, I was looking for something that I could do from home that would allow me more time freedom than my previous businesses had allowed. So I was searching for something, and I thought if I could just make $300 or $500 extra a month would be just some of my own money, right? I was not looking for network marketing, you guys. In fact, I was a huge skeptic of this industry. So I was a good friend, and I supported all my friends who did one of these businesses, and I went to their parties, I bought their products, but I never considered this actually a legitimate business model, you guys, until I found myself looking. And I recalled that a work acquaintance that I had in Texas had actually prospected me about 3 years prior to this. And I remembered thinking to myself, what in the world would this woman be doing involving herself in one of these things if she's already successful in the industry that we're in? So guys, I was honestly a hard no. I was not interested. I probably gave her every excuse in the book. You know, I don't have time, yada, yada, yada. But anyways, guys, this woman never followed up with me, not one single time after that. So I was a hard no. However, I was open to opportunities. So at this point, I Googled the company she had talked about, and they happened to be opening in Canada the very next day. So I don't know about you guys, but I took that as a sign that I needed to take a closer look. So I called the first person whose website popped up affiliated with that company, and it was Tracy Anderson. So most of you guys know Tracy Anderson. I did not know Tracy. I didn't even know where she was from. I knew nothing about her, but I picked up the phone and I called her. And Tracy and I have been partnered in this business ever since. So the reason I share this story is because the lady who initially prospected me into network marketing never one time followed up with me. So she gave up on me after the very first exposure. So can you imagine what that's actually cost her? You know, thousands and thousands of dollars likely, not to mention the incredible people and relationships that she could have had she followed up with me. So guys, I want to jump ahead now and dive right into follow-up. So why do we follow up? When do you follow up? And how to follow up professionally? All right. So here's what I know exactly. The hidden gem to your success is follow-up. If you've been looking for some kind of secret to the success here in network marketing and in this industry, it is follow-up, you guys. Follow-up is a must-learn skill set. It is absolutely non-negotiable. You can have the best network, you can have the biggest list, and you can be really, really great at inviting, but if you fail to follow up with people, you will have limited success here. You have got to get consistent and learn to follow up if you want to succeed. So you guys have all heard this before, and it is a proven fact that the fortune is in the follow-up. So I want to get into why that's actually true. All right. Did you know that less than 2% of people, or pardon me, 2% of sales are actually made on the first contact? So it is super, super rare for people to jump in with both feet on that very first contact. So guys, check this out. 48% of people invite someone to look at the product or the business and never follow up. Not one single time. So that's like half of the people, you guys, are inviting someone to look at the information but not following up. This is exactly what happened to me with that initial lady who prospected me into the industry several years ago. She never followed up with me, not one single time. So did you know that 94% of people quit following up between 1 and 4 contacts, and only 10% of people actually move beyond 3 contacts with a prospect? But the most interesting statistic of all is 80% of sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact, guys. So that means that your prospect is not going to even consider the products or the business or make a decision until they've looked at it 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. Guys, you have to be committed to the process of making those exposures and follow-ups. All right. Do you want to grow your business by 80%? I'm guessing the answer is yes. So guys, you just need to learn and do follow-up consistently, and your business will grow. All right. Guys, follow-up is a multiple contact process. It is not a one-time event. Guys, having people join you in a business is not one phone call. It's not one conversation. It's not one little pitch. Guys, it's an exposure process. So you have to move people through the process. Think about this. Companies like Coca-Cola, Apple, Nike, etc. Guys, they know that they're in the multiple exposure business. So they know that they need to constantly expose you to their brand and products. And if you pay attention, you will see this happening all around you. Traditional marketing is exposure after exposure after exposure, and our business is seriously no different. So guys, we're in the information, education, and business. Your job is to take people from not knowing about Modere to knowing about Modere and moving them through a process until they're crystal clear about what's in it for them. Guys, this is done through exposures and follow-up. So taking charge of the follow-up, guys, will leave you with the power. I know you guys already know this. If you leave it up to people to get back to you, they never will. So keep sharing and keep following up, because some of the best people in this industry took years and years of exposures and follow-up before the timing was right for them. So ask yourself, would you be willing to follow up with someone for 3, 4, maybe even 5 or 6 years if you knew that they would be a top performer in your business? So the bottom line to why you guys follow up, why we follow up in this industry, is because all of the money is in the follow-up. So let's move on to when do you follow up. Guys, always, always, always learn to set the follow-up in the invitation. So when you set the follow-up in the invitation, your prospect knows that you're going to reconnect with them. So you've already set the expectation, all right? So you might sound something like this and say, I know you've got a ton of great questions after, you're going to have a ton of great questions after watching that video that I'm sending you. I want to address those questions while they're fresh in your mind. How soon can we reconnect again? Guys, you need to set that follow-up so that the the prospect knows that you are going to reconnect with them. You've set that expectation, but also, guys, so you can be organized. This allows you to be able to schedule the follow-up in your schedule, and you're able to take charge of that and not just leave it so random. All right. So follow-up is urgent. This is not something you ever take lightly, you guys. Follow-up should be done within 24 hours after giving someone some information. 48 at the very, very most, you guys. Or if you have scheduled something different, then that's okay. However, you've got to answer people's questions and concerns and reservations as quickly as possible. If you wait too long to follow up, here's what happens. Guys, the person that you sent the information to forgot about it. Or they looked at the information and then they got excited, but you waited too long to follow up and the excitement long faded away. And this happens a lot, you guys. If you give people too much time to think about it, they're going to talk themselves out of it, or they're going to talk to somebody who talks them out of it before you have the opportunity to address their concerns and reservations. Guys, you've got to create urgency and importance around follow-up. If follow-up is not a priority to you, it will not be a priority to your prospects. All right. And creating an urgency and importance is treating follow-up professionally. So guys, always do what you said you were going to do and follow up at the specific date and specific time that you set in the invite. All right. So here's where I'm going to be just a little bit bold with you guys. The reality of this business is that follow-up is a forever process. I know that sounds painful, but even if people say no, it's highly likely that there may be a time in their life where something changes and they may need or want our products or opportunity. Guys, when people say they're not interested, it means they're not interested right now. Look at my story. I was a hard no. I was not interested. But 3 years later, after initially being prospected into this industry, I had remarried. I now had a little one at home that I wanted to be at home with, and I'd sold my business. So suddenly I was open to the opportunity, and here we are, right? When people say no, guys, they mean not right now. So you need to learn to just ask permission to stay connected. All right. Do you mind if we stay connected? Guys, when you ask someone permission to stay connected, it takes this weight off your shoulders, and you no longer have to ever feel like you're nagging, bugging, hassling, chasing someone, ever making anybody feel uncomfortable because they gave you permission to follow up. All right. So ultimately, following up is building relationships, and you need to nurture those relationships forever. All right. Nurturing those relationships does not mean hounding people about the product, about the business regularly. It means being completely normal. Interact with them in their life. Interact with them on their Facebook page. Just go back to being friends. Guys, the bottom line is that you're going to be following up with people for a very long time. So although it may seem like a painful process, guys, you will start to learn to enjoy it once you start actually benefiting from the results of it. So have fun with it and look forward to it. You've got to commit to following up and building relationships long enough to get your prospects crystal clear and enrolled as a customer or a social marketer. All right. Do you ever take someone off of your list? I know that's a good question, right? Guys, rarely would you ever remove someone off your list. The only time you would take them off of your list is if they have been a jerk and treated you poorly and you know that you don't want them in your business. Otherwise, everyone stays on your list and you continue to build that relationship and follow up consistently with people. All right? So I'm going to suggest that how to follow up is the hardest part for most of us. But I do promise you this, guys. If you learn and improve your follow-up, your results will get better. So just focus on growing. Don't focus on the results. You're looking for the right person at the right time. So I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but there's an analogy with a clock. If 12 o'clock is the right time for your person, for your prospect, you guys, you have to understand that everybody that you talk to is at a different time on this clock. So regardless of whether you're talking to them about the product or the business, somebody might be at 3 o'clock and somebody's at 9 o'clock. You just need to be committed to going through the process with them until the time aligns at 12 o'clock and is the right time for them. All right. So guys, I can't stress the importance of this enough, but always keep a follow-up tracker. I suggest that you use the new app, but it doesn't really matter what it is. It can be your notebook, it can be a planner, it can be an Excel spreadsheet, a Google document, whatever works for you. You need to keep your follow-ups all in one place. Guys, I used to be the person that had sticky notes everywhere, and I promise you it was a disaster. You've got to get yourself organized so that you can follow through with what you said you were going to do, and you won't leave people hanging. So to be professional with follow-ups, guys, is tracking and being consistent. And you can follow up in lots of different ways. My preferred method of follow-up is always voice messages. Guys, I want my prospects to hear the energy. I want my prospects to hear the excitement. So follow up with confidence, excitement, and a positive expectation. And what I mean by a positive expectation, guys, is you've got to assume that the prospect is going to like what they've seen. If you approach prospects with doubt and fear, there's nothing attractive about that. So be confident and be attractive so that people want to be connected with you. So when you circle back around to people, you can say simple things like, how excited are you about what you saw? How excited are you to get started on your M3 journey, right? I bet you have some great questions now that you've watched that video. Guys, use your voice to relay the excitement and energy onto your prospects. And when you're following up with people, guys, remember, don't be the expert. Let the tools that we have do the talking. We literally have a tool that can answer most everything. So use the tools. And guys, not having all of the answers can actually work in your favor. It shows your prospect that they don't need to be an expert to share the products and the business opportunity. And enlist the help of your upline if necessary for three-way conversations. Third-party validation is incredibly powerful. So guys, don't get intimidated or afraid of questions either if your prospects start asking questions. Guys, that's when you really need to get excited because questions show a sign of interest. So if you want to create some momentum in your business, follow up and guide your prospects through the process as fast as you can, because once you have the energy, it's easier to keep going. All right, so I encourage you to learn and think about what the next step is going to be at each exposure and each follow-up. So what information can you send them next? What group are you going to add them to next? Who are you going to introduce them to? What tool can you share with them? Guys, Tony Zalecki shared these 6 words with me, with us in a training, and they are instrumental in being able to move your business forward very quickly when you have a prospect that shows some interest. So don't be afraid to take charge and say to people these 6 words. Here's what needs to happen next. So let me show you what that looks like. If somebody has some interest and you can say, here's what needs to happen next. I'm going to introduce you to my friend Tracy so you can hear her story. Hold on. And then you can go ahead and move to a 3-way call or a 3-way conversation with Tracy. All right. You can say, here's what needs to happen next. You've got to watch the video I'm going to send you, and I'm going to call you back in 10 minutes. Here's what needs to happen next. go to the link I'm going to send you with my promo code, place your order, and you're going to get $10 off at the checkout, and text me when you're done. Guys, when people are excited and have some interest, you've got to move them along through the process quickly. So again, being a little bit bold, guys, 1 to 2 follow-ups with people a week is not going to earn you $5,000 a week, or pardon me, a month. Guys, you've got to get into the habit of creating and generating, continuing conversations daily. Justin Prince is the one who said, he who starts the most conversations wins, but I'm going to expand on that a little bit and say he who continues the most conversations wins. So guys, let's talk about what to say specifically in some scenarios. So there's tons of scenarios we could go through, but I handpicked a few different ones that I thought would help you guys with, give you some ideas on follow-up. So let's dive into those. So, all right, let's say you have a prospect who you follow up with as scheduled, and they have not yet taken a look at the information. So they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I forgot. Guys, take charge of this situation, because the prospect doesn't yet know how important this is, and they have not prioritized it in their life. So you might say something to them like, I know your life is super busy and we were scheduled to chat, but I don't want to chase and bug you. So let's set a time to chat again. How soon can we connect? And then let them tell you when they can commit to watching that video or looking at the information that you sent. And at that time, then you can set the follow-up again with them. All right. You have to understand that the prospects don't have this prioritized in their life. And that's why it's up to us to create that urgency. Okay. So let's say, well, what do you say when somebody stands you up? All right. You follow up with someone as scheduled and you get no response, like nothing. They're not responding. All right. Guys, here's the thing. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Life is messy. Life is crazy. Life happens, and something might have got in the way. But we have a tendency to let our brains take control of something like this and tell us that they're not interested. Don't assume they're not interested, guys. Assume that something might have came up in their life. And you might reach out to them and say, hey, we had an appointment to connect, but I wasn't able to catch up with you. I hope everything is okay. I don't want to chase or bug you, so listen, when would be a good time to connect with you again? Guys, when you ask somebody and say, I hope everything is okay, they usually get back to you and say, oh my gosh, yes, everything is okay. I'm so sorry, I forgot. Or, oh my gosh, my kids were sick this week, right? Something might have happened. Life possibly got in the way. And again, your prospect doesn't yet know the urgency and importance of looking at this information. So this is where you need to come in and just help nudge them along to get them to watch or look at the information. So what if you reach out to someone, 2, 3, maybe even 4 times, and they still haven't responded? Guys, this is when the prospect actually makes it uncomfortable. But you need to address this, address the awkwardness, okay? Address the awkwardness and close the loop. And what I mean by this is to give people an out and relieve the pressure. So you might say something to them like, since you haven't gotten back to me, I'm going to take it that you're just not interested, and that's totally okay. Our relationship means more to me than any business. So if you ever want to revisit this, you let me know. Okay? Then just go back with interacting with them in their life and being a friend and building that relationship, guys. People have to know that they're not just a number to you. So if they're not responding after a couple different messages, chances are that they're not interested right now, and they just don't want to tell you that. So guys, just like Justin Prince trains on this, always address the awkwardness, all right? Because when things get awkward, and it happens a lot, you need to put this behind you to maintain a normal relationship with that person, all right? Because you will run into these people at some point in your life again, and the last thing you want it to be is awkward. So you want those conversations to be totally normal between the two of you. And when you see them again and run into them or have a conversation with them, don't bring this up again unless they do. All right. People do business with those they know, like, and trust, and you must just go back to building that relationship with these people. So how about those prospects that we have that you've given loads and loads and loads of information and they still can't make a decision if they're in or they're out? And I know that we've all had these people. So guys, listen, you've got to take back the power and move on. So what you need to do in this situation is take it away. So you might say something to them like, listen, I don't think put that behind us and then just go back to being their friend. Guys, apologizing is so hard for people to have a resistance against, and it builds a level of respect and professionalism. It also removes the awkwardness from any future conversations that you might have with this person, right? It's the best way to go back and fix something that you know that you did wrong. So when it comes to resolving concerns, guys, it's always important to be understanding of where the objection is coming from. So here's a simple 3-step process that can help you when addressing concerns. Number 1, agree and acknowledge. Number 2, ask a question. And number 3, share a story. So here's what that might look like if somebody said, I'm too busy and I don't have time. All right, so you might say, oh my gosh, I totally understand. Let me ask you a question. How much time do you have? And then let the prospect talk. Let them tell you how much time they have, because we all know that you really can build this business in little tiny increments of time if you use your time effectively. So after they've kind of told you where they're at and what their objection is, then you can share a story that they might relate to. And that story might be something as simple as, my friend Tracy is a single mom of 3, and she didn't think she had time either, but she learned to use her small blocks of time effectively, and now her mortgage payment is made every month by her income from Modere. Does that sound like something you're willing to learn? Guys, ideally, overcoming objections can almost always be answered by sharing a story. So if you learn to speak in stories, guys, people will emotionally connect to that. All right. So in situations when you don't have the answer or you don't have a tool to address a specific situation, use the help of your upline, or again, share a story. Share a story that relates to their question. So if somebody might say to you, how much money can I make in my first month? You might say, I don't know the exact answer, but what I do know is that my friend Tracy, who's a single mom of 3, was able to earn her investment back and be profitable in her first month. People just want to know that someone else like them is having success here, guys. So let's talk again about when people say not now. Guys, when people say no, it means not right now. When they say not now, it means not right now. When they say they're not interested, it means they're not interested right now. Once you kind of wrap your head around that, guys, it makes the process of follow-up much, much easier, because again, you guys know now that follow-up is a forever process. So regardless of what people tell you, you know what? There could come a time in their life where things turn and they're actually open and interested in what you have. So following up is really just building relationships and simply guiding people through the process. All right. Most people need to be guided and nudged along. So guide people until they can make a logical decision to become a customer or a social marketer. At the end of the day, guys, you just got to do follow-up. It's non-negotiable. But it's like anything in life. The more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get at it. So forgive yourself, because you're going to make mistakes, but learn from those mistakes. It's just making those mistakes is just part of life. And the same is true in this business. So each time you follow up, it's going to get easier. If you want to build a business by design and on purpose, guys, you need to be intentional about your follow-up. You need to be serious about your follow-up, and you need to follow up on purpose. Guys, if you've struggled with follow-up in the past, it's likely because of what your brain is telling you, and you're making it way more complicated than it needs to be. Don't overcomplicate it, and accept that follow-up is the hidden gem to your success. Follow-up is simply getting to know and connecting with people, guys. So let's shift focus just a little bit to mindset here. Guys, when you follow up with people, you have got to have the mindset that you have the power. You're the one with the gift in your hands, right? Guys, the most sacred thing in business is opportunity. And people will look their whole life to find opportunity, and you've got it in your hands for the taking. So you need to share this gift with confidence, energy, and excitement. And you should feel compelled to share this gift with others, because you're confident, and your confidence is vitally important when sharing this. Guys, let my story be a bit of a reminder to you about how important follow-up is. It took me 3 years for my timing to come together. And it's really too bad for the gal that gave up on me, because she left an awful lot on the table when she did not follow up. Guys, you're really looking for the right person at the right time. So here's the reality of our business. 90% of sales happen in the space where only 10% of people are willing to go. So ask yourself, are you willing to be one of the 10%? And before I leave you today, let me ask you with one simple question. Do you want to grow your business? I'm guessing that all of you answered yes. And guys, the answer is simple. Commit to and master the skill set of follow-up. So that's it, guys. That's my presentation for Vancouver. So I will tweak that. Obviously, I need to work on that just a little bit, but I'm really excited to share that from the main stage on Saturday for everybody. And I feel like it was a great topic, and lots of, good information in there, even just for me to go back and write that training, you guys, just really reiterates so many things about follow-up that I think sometimes we tend to forget. So, I guess the key thing there is follow-up really is forever. And ultimately we're just, building relationships with people. So Yeah, so I'm really excited about that training that I get to do on Saturday in Vancouver, and I'm excited for everybody that's going to be there. There will be slides that also go along with that presentation, so it'll make more sense probably, and you'll be able to take some notes and that sort of thing. So anyways, in the meantime, I've got to tweak it a little bit here and there, and hopefully it'll be good to go come Saturday. So I want to thank you guys all for jumping on tonight. I am going to, that was all we had scheduled for tonight. I didn't invite any guest speakers on just because I didn't want to drag this call out for too long, and being so gorgeous outside, I know that it was hard for everybody to jump on tonight. But I'm going to stop the recording here, and we will chat with you all after Vancouver. Next week will be an exciting call because we will be doing the Vancouver recap with all the exciting news. So anyways, you guys, thanks for jumping on, and have a great night. Bye.